Oh my god.
Yes,
You're all animals, mate. You're all animals. Oh my god.
it will be. Oh my god, like we have got Gressvan LE. Do you know what LE stands for? Don't bring it up. It is ladder edition. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Did you see
that'll be map number 1.
Did you see Yaku made a meme a couple of days ago showing the face of all the casters on the Cranky Ducklings, and yours was hashtag too soon. It was
Oh no, it is too soon. It's very too soon. But not soon enough. Like, our game has loaded in. Here we go. Get me on that light cam. Oh, look at that. Oh, the right turn. Oh, the zoom in. Oh, it is playing for the Juggernauts all the way from Hong Kong, representing the Juggernauts, which I already pointed out. It is GogojOey.
Are you actually doing your Yaku impression? What's
Oh my god.
And in the top left-hand corner of that, sporting in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the Australian Terran player here. He has been denied his color of choice. He is no longer blue, he is red. It is Azure.
Now, Light, I was doing a bit of research, and by research I mean I was watching some YouTube videos at 4 in the morning, and apparently red is the color that people most strongly react to. You know, they associate it with, I guess, like passion, strong words, but just wondering if that's gonna light a fire under Azure and give him the power to take this series, like not just the game but the series.
Yeah, is it gonna light that fire, light that passion, the love as well? You know, it's there's a lot that can come
power
from
of love. That's what he needs.
The power of love, Buffy. Let's go. Hashtag LE.
I'm gonna leave this.
Come back, Buffy. Come back. Yeah. I mean, I'm really curious, especially because we've spoken about it before, but Azure, he can be a really unpredictable player at times. He can go for these different openers as well. We have had a lot of versatility in the TVZ matchup. It feels that way anyway, with these kind of like 3cc 2-on-1s or 3-Raxes, or even different forms of mech rising recently in like the past year or so. So I feel like Azure, his toolkit has gotten quite a lot larger.
Yeah, normally as you delve deeper into the meta, you see, Terran players start to get a little bit more figured out. The Zergs start to stabilize. They normally start patches strong, as Azure should get 1 Ling. No, good micro from Joey. Oh my god, he's going to get the Ling. Is he? Oh my god, Light. Oh, get out of there. Wait, you can jump down there?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this map's so broken. I mean, well positioned by Azure there, saving the Reaper. But yeah, as I was saying before, like, it's Terrans. They've really kind of got a foothold in the in the meta at the moment. They're doing quite well. See a lot of Terrans in GS. I think 8 Terrans in GSL compared to 3 Zerg and 5 Protoss. So they've got a lot of versatility and people to kind of look at for builds in the current time too.
Yeah, definitely. There's just so much more available to them, and the map pool is still relatively new as well. Meanwhile, the Reaper doesn't quite get a drone in the main base, but was able to wreak a little bit of havoc here. Could even catch a transferring worker as well if he's not too careful.
Yeah, no, this is one of the trademarks I kind of think of when I play versus Azure. He's very good with his Reaper. It's one of those cases where you don't just get your Lings out as you try and jump in. No, you may lose this Reaper. Just maximum value, but players like this, of course they're macroing behind as well as you see a third CC, but they're just so annoying, and it keeps you on your toes. It makes you uncomfortable, and that's exactly how a Terran wants Zerg to be, uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of this also comes down to the fact that, hey, if a Zerg player is terrifying if they're just left to their own devices to just drone to their heart's content. So it is kind of the role here of the Terran, as you were saying, to just put as much pressure on the Zerg as possible, and that pressure will be continuing here with this 3cc Banshee opener. Pretty standard, all things considered, and I want to see really impressed, like Azure. Despite maybe GogojOey's known for his aggression and his roach play and his roach timing attacks, Azure's going for a pretty standard, pretty macro-oriented opener.
Yeah, he is too. It's just these Hellions coming out. Pretty good Overlord spread, kind of, seeing where these units are coming from. Link speed has now finished up. Zergs have been delaying it, as we see in the meta. And just droning away. Stim started, so it's going to be Bio, and he's going to learn that third base already, Light. So pretty economic play here by the Terran player. And with this Banshee, you should even be able to get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited to see if Azure can ramp up here into his 3cc economy. You do see that first Banshee sneaking out across the map towards that main base. Spore is already on the way for GogojOey. One Spore on the way on each base, but the Queens are busy here on the front lines, not really in that kind of position in the main.
Yeah, Spore Crawler is coming down. Good Overlord spread towards the bottom as well. Gonna maybe do a bit of just distracting the Queens, making sure he can see where they are. Feels maybe a bit more comfortable to send that Banshee in. Gonna do what I believe. Is he got a second Banshee light somewhere? Yes, there it is. Yeah, this is a bit more common. You'll see. He's keeping it at home, however. Two Banshees is a lot easier to micro. You can one-shot a drone. But yeah, it's pretty passive start of the game so far, and again, yeah, Banshee's just coming across now.
Yeah, like even with the Hellions, we haven't seen too much creep being denied. Like they've been active, don't get us wrong, but I mean, again, Azure, he's been relatively passive with them. He hasn't gone for any kind of risks. He hasn't threatened any kind of mineral lines until now, but he is fended off by those Queens. Once again, getting an idea of their positioning as he is getting ready to go in with those Banshees.
Yeah, it is quite passive. 69 drones.
Oh, nice.
At the moment, but the 60 SCVs just because he went 3cc and he's actually, he's landed his base so quickly. His Hellions gonna get a couple drones, a huge Ling counter attack coming in, but the wall is not up at the moment. Azure might be distracted here, like.
Yeah, I mean, he's killing a lot of drones across the map. 5 drones are going to be going down, but at the same time, the Lings go for that counter attack as well. But the SCV micro here, not a single, or maybe even one SCV goes down.
Ooh. Yeah, really good micro, and these Marines are going to be able to clean up these Zerglings. Meanwhile, he did actually keep the majority of those Hellions alive. So, at this point in the game, they don't scale too well, especially when Banespeed comes in the mix. But it's always better to have them around. Just soak up some Banelings for your push, just give you a little bit of scouting intel if you need it. And honestly, I think Azure's in a pretty decent spot this game.
Yeah, you know what? Here we go. The Banshees are finally coming in as well. No detection between these bases. 6 drones already going down, and we're picking off the Banelings.
He's picking up the Banelings, indeed, going to get out before that Overseer finishes up. Another Ling run by positioning itself. We do have combat shields on the way. He's so good. But he's also got tanks just kind of big chilling in the main with the medevacs. Is he just stuffed up his rally?
Yeah, it's possible his rally may be a little bit messed up here, but we do have that Ling Bane run by being set up as well. There are Marines in position, but can Azure react in time, as he was still being a little bit active on the map, just cleaning up whatever creep he could.
Yeah, and even without the tanks here, or the tanks are coming down now, maybe it's just the force. If he sees Azure does move out, does have some Lings just scattered across the map. But does he actually see this? No. But the Overlord is gonna show the Ling Bane to back away, and Azure maybe gearing up for a push here, like a 1-1 push.
Oh, he catches wind of this. Here we go. The Ling Bane counterattack has been confirmed. And, Banelings do connect. But regardless, he's going to be able to shut down this run by it.
He does shut it down, indeed. We even see these Banshees still sharking around 2-2 on the way, and a hive for the Zerg player as well. So even though Azure's in a pretty good spot, Zerg tier 3 is pretty scary. It looks like he's going to try and get a bit of damage done. Where do you push in this map, right? Surely at that 5th base, the little... Below the 5th base, right? Where you just abuse that.
Yeah. You're not wrong, mate.
Yeah, we've been here before.
We've been abused, Bobby. Let's go.
We know an abusive spot when we see one.
Aye. That's exactly where Azure is pushing through the dead center of the map. As you pointed out, though, GogojOey is going mass Ling Bane into Hive, into, I imagine, Ultras, or straight into just Vipers if need be. But Ling Bane is going to be the composition of choice. It looks like GogojOey even setting up for a bit of a pseudo surround here. He does have a force towards the northern side as well, but just taking this slow and steady, patient play.
Yeah, no, this isn't really a push that's kind of designed to kill GogojOey. It's just to trade really well, as we see more units coming in. Joe's just going to wait for 2-2 before he collapses on this army. It's actually not the strong, it's an okay position for Azure, but getting attacked from behind as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be able to to hold once it's now that Ling Bang comes in for the top, and here it comes now. Like
exactly, GogojOey setting up for the master round, and as you were saying, Azure just doesn't have enough here to hold on. The overwhelming swarm of Zerg is going to collapse on this, and Azure, he's going to lose everything.
Yeah, he is indeed, but he's still ahead in supply after that engagement. And, you know, there's a lot of Banes on the ground, but there's only a couple of Marines, and these Banshees going to help clean up these Banes too. All in all, not a bad trade for Azure, but good clean up by Joey.
Yeah, I think a lot of Banelings went down there, so it wasn't the most efficient trade from GogojOey, as you were saying. And Azure was able to at least keep all of his medevacs alive, so now he can focus on rebuilding his army and pushing out once again. Again, Azure is ahead in that army supply.
He is ahead indeed as he comes in. Oh, may get caught here. He does have medevacs, can load up, but it looks like he's going to try and take a bit of a trade. The 2-2 Ling Bane doing some decent work on these Marines. I feel like Azure, you get your 4th base here, you don't want to really, it's not planetary yet.
Yeah.
You just want to just chill until that. No, he's just going to attack it like.
A bit of an answer timing from Azure here. +2 finished after he lost all those Marines. We do have a massive run by Widowmine shots are going to be going off. Decent connections here, but there's still so many more Lings.
Yeah, Azure is going to be able to clean this up. It's just a matter of how much damage from these Banes he takes. SCVs are going to run. They're going to go cross country. There's still the SCV coming from the middle of the map somehow. But yeah, it looks like he does keep the majority alive. Not only that, he has 4 CCs. So yeah, he's in an okay spot. But so is Joey with 88 drones.
Oh, yeah, he does have those 88 drones. He can just keep amassing more Ling Bane. The Hive Tech is finally coming into play. We have the Ultra Cavern, we have 3-3, we have Adrenal Glands, everything you could ever wish for here as a Zerg. And Azure did lose a lot of his momentum already. He's going to try and move out once again. And I mean, he does have a lot of medevacs for drop play, but as we've been seeing, he just doesn't have a lot on the ground.
Yeah, he doesn't really. He does have a couple of Widow Mines that's by to help clean this up. All these Widow Mines as well. Good splits by Joey, actually, minimizing the the damage taken there. But there's just carnage. I think Azure may be pushed back here by the Ling Bane.
Yeah, there's just too much Ling Bane, but he has to fight because we have an Overseer, and losing all these Widow Mines, is going to be a little bit brutal for Azure.
Yeah, it really does suck. It's not the worst because he does, Joey does have ultras coming out, but you never want to be losing kind of units for free there. It wasn't really for free, it was more of a trade. But yeah, I guess Azure's kind of, even though he doesn't know, there's a Hive out now, he's adding in Marauders, he's making more Widow Mines actually, so a little bit blind, but not bad moves as the Ultra is confirmed right now.
Yeah, there we go. The Ultra has been spotted by Azure. He's forced to lift up and get the hell out of there, evacuate with everything he has. He's up to 15 medevacs, by the way. 15. He has more medevacs than Marauders or Marines right now. Decent Widowmine shots are going to be going off, though. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a lot of medevacs as these Banshees come into support as well. A little bit more Ling Bane coming in. Keep in mind, it's not 3-3 just yet, but it does have Adrenal. As well as basically a little bit ransacked here, but he's going to be able to hold these Ultras unsupported. Joey's just bleeding units. He's pulling a bit of a crimson here, like.
Yeah, this is becoming a little bit too much. These Ultras are going to be going down. Expensive losses for GogojOey, and Azure is going to be able to hold on. He only lost 7 SCVs, more than he would have liked, but he doesn't lose too much of his economy.
Yeah, and Azure's economy is taxed a little bit actually. He does have the 4th base now secured. He does see the transition with a Ghost Academy coming down and some Liberators too. But he's just started his plus 3 armor right now, and that's actually quite delayed. That could hurt him if he's not too careful, especially if Adrenal really capitalizing with the fast attacks. He's Banshees.
They're still alive.
They got 30 kills. 30 kills each? 31 kills each? Oh my god.
What the? No, Banshee, no, he's going to with the Spore.
Oh no, it's still alive. No. I mean, they got the same kill count. They just got the same HP.
I'm shocked that they both have 31 kills each. That's crazy. They're just like twins.
I thought I just didn't click properly.
Me too. I was like, am I that far out? Am I gone at this point? But no, that's really impressive. And here we go. We do see GogojOey once again chasing this army off of creep. I don't know if this is the best trade for GogojOey.
Yeah, no, it's certainly not. Even if he engages, those Marauders will soak up quite a bit of splash too. Would like to see a couple of Vipers added and just a parasitic bomb these medevacs. Force Azure not only to split his bio, but split his medevacs as well when he engages. Terran, we like to say that Terran is a it's a race that once they set up in camp, they're pretty comfortable. But when you're playing a mobile style like this, there's a lot you need to do per engagement.
Yeah, and here we go. We do see a master round here from GogojOey. He's coming in from 2 angles with his Bling Bane, with his Ultras as well. The Queen's coming in for a flank, and it looks like he's barely going to be able to clean this up. The Ultras survive.
They do, Light, and Scratch had his time to sit behind tanks and bunkers and liberators and just, yeah. Again, but, the Banshees are still alive, Light. We've still got a chance. The one good thing for Azure is the creep is not crazy. It's decent, it's very decent, but it does give him a little bit of a buffer. Those Banshees can help out defensively. The Queens can't get forward, but we now have Corruptors added to the mix.
Yeah, we do, and I think this transition into Ghosts is maybe a little bit too late for Azure. I think we needed them sooner. Finally, a couple of Ghosts are being mixed in, but the Ultras are already able to clean up that army earlier. They're diving on top of the Planetary. The Lings are flooding on in forward as well, and the Planetary is going to fall.
Planetary does go down. Remember there was that buff that Lings can actually shoot, like they can actually go underneath the Ultras, something like that.
Oh.
Also the Ultras don't get stuck around, so the Cracklings actually did huge bits on that Planetary, but you know, Azure he's got backup CCs, he's just gonna land another base. But he's down, but he's not out.
Not out yet. He desperately needs a 5th base, so he does have more orbitals on the way that he can, of course, take advantage of. But for the time being, GogojOey, he just remaxes almost instantly. 200 supply. He's rolling on forward once again to just annihilate that Planetary for the 2nd time.
Yeah, it's not even a Planetary. It's the Bane. There's more Banes than Bio here on the ground. The Metavac's actually providing a bit of a saving grace as we can pick up, but those Ghosts, oh my god, like, it sounds terrible when they die, but he is overrun and this position is compromised.
But the Banshees
repaired!
They've repaired, they've been topped up. They can kill all the Ultras, unironically.
They can kill the Ultras. They actually can.
Yeah.
And Joey, actually, he's going to get repelled here, but if you look at the supply, as a great man once said, it's not looking too great.
It's not. GogojOey's economy is exactly what it needs it to be at 88 drones. He's got so many bases, so many hatcheries, and yeah, unfortunately, no, the Banshee, it's gonna go down. We have detection.
Yeah, this is the thing about such a large medevac count as well as GG is called and Joey takes map 1. It makes you feel like your army is larger than it actually is. Like it's your army, you check your army value, it looks pretty big. You know, you can't see the lack of units underneath, and unfortunately, Azure taps out.
Oh. And he does. GG. GogojOey takes that first game. But to be honest, Azure did fight very well for himself there. There was definitely some very cost-efficient moments for him where he was breaking on through. He was trading quite well. But something that really did hurt him towards the end, not just the master rounds that we saw, the positioning of GogojOey, but yeah, the economy of Azure was never really able to flourish the way that I'm sure he wanted it to.
I thought you were going to say something that really hurt him was losing the Banshees. Once the Banshees went,
yeah, he was in the game. Left. He was ahead with those Banshees, but as soon as he lost them, hey, it's over, Papi. What can you do? What can you do?
What can you do? There's nothing you can do except give them a glorified death they deserve. But yeah, as you pointed out, Azure actually played really well. He got his economy rolling really quickly, but Joey just kind of, you know, he didn't take a lot of damage. He kind of, the Banshees even didn't do too much. They got a little bit. The Hellions also got a couple worker kills, but Azure just kind of couldn't keep up on, you know, Mr. Zergy, Droney. Oh.
Yeah.
And he just had better economy, as you said. Like
I couldn't have put it better myself, Chase. Okay. So, yeah, very well done here by GogojOey. He does take a lead in this series, but it is only a lead. It is a best of 3. We still have the opportunity to come back here. Azure, he's up against it. He needs to win this game to force the ace match.
Ace match, indeed. I hope it happens because I like ZvT. It's a cool matchup, Light. But yeah, we'll have to see. Dragons. I'm not sure who picked the first map. I'm gonna assume it might have been. Actually, I'm not sure if it is a Terra map or I still don't know. Like, do you know who picked this map?
I think Joey.
Okay. Oh, sucks for Azure, but spawning in the bottom right, we have got playing for Juggernauts all the way from Hong Kong.
Oh.
He is GogojOey.
Hey, it's going for a 13-12.
We'll get there. Like, we'll get there.
And
We'll
spawning,
get there, okay?
spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, getting 13-12. We have the Australian Terran player representing himself now with the color red. It is Azure.
And Light. Light, we have a 13-12.
Oh, hey, it's crazy.
Oh my God.
My God.
You're
not
wrong.
wrong.
Could have seen this coming. Honestly, though. I mean, it's Joey's map. If it is Joey's map pick, he must have something specifically in mind. Like,
Yeah. So this has actually been rising in popularity recently in ZvTs. Like these 13-12s, we've seen quite a bit of it on Neo Humanity on some of the smaller maps. And Eric has been using this. Let me tell. And Eric has been using this a lot as well. And I believe Pig recently made a video covering Eric, so he's been getting a little bit more attention. And we can see it here. It's not all in, by the way. We have 100 gas for link speed. We're going to be flooding links here. I'm curious if GogojOey will continue with his link production or just take an expansion behind this.
yeah, and either way, it's pretty scary for the Terran because all you need to do, you know, like 13-12, you don't have the economy to really sustain, say, like a Bane Bus. Well, you can, but it's not very good. So even if this worker comes in and it scouts, you know, the drones put off gas and link speed, it doesn't really tell you anything. You'll have to look for the Queen being built, the expansion as Azure, yeah, just float on by. But yeah, I'm not sure what Azure's response to this is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. He's just trying to piece together what exactly he is up against. Of course, he's going to be able to scout and confirm that speed is being researched on this spawning pool. He also saw that it was at least a pool first, so he should be able to piece together the earlier gas. And yeah, we'll see what his response is going to be here as he's making Marines back at home.
Oh, is Azure getting baited?
Oh, he's being baited. Yeah. Oh, his
getting
Marines are
baited,
exposed. They're exposed, Poppy.
No. Oh no, like he went actually for a reactor before the Reaper, so yeah, this is dreadful. He is going to get a couple Marines to help kind of hold here. Keep in mind again, there's no gas unit, so cannot can really bust up here. But also keep in mind, that's Joey's droning. You know, he's done more than enough damage, killing a couple Marines.
Yeah.
And the CC.
That's what I was getting at. 13-12s in ZvT are macro builds. Like we're just droning behind this. GogojOey, he's getting his third hatchery on the way as well. His drone is already getting into position. And yeah, GogojOey is just going to be happy with this little economic lead. I say little, a pretty big economic lead that he's got it.
Yeah, no, this is a good lead. Could be curious of Azure to kind of pop down the ramp there with his. He did scout the SCV, right? He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he's gonna deny this scout here. He is still churning out Marines, so I feel like we could even possibly see, a Hellbat Marine medevac kind of push here, which is not a bad idea. Keep in mind, the Queen production by Joey is delayed, and the economy's not too sharp, so we'll have to see how this works.
I agree. I really like this follow-up, especially because it isn't just the Queen production, but also we have pulled out of gas completely, so there's no Baneling Nest, there's no Roach Warren, like it's pure Ling and barely any Queens to hold on, so there's a lot of potential here for Azure.
There is too, but Speedlings are fantastic units, and we are not really at the moment, unless he waits for maybe 6. Actually, how many does he have? Is it 3? Oh, he's moving out now, but I feel like there's not that critical mass of units to really make it hard to hold with just Speedling and some Queens. But as you said, oh my god, like we have a Fusion Core follow-up to this as well, so you might even just be focusing on killing Queens. Yeah, as long as he keeps the Queen count low, the follow-up BC is going to straight up end the game. We've seen that happen before. We can see it happen again. Here we go. The Hellbats are going to be morphing in. The third base is being laid siege upon. GogojOey goes for a Ling counterattack instead. Yeah, he kind of recognizes that there's no way he's going to have a wall at the natural finish up yet. And Azure with the Hellbat is going to be able to hold using the choke point, but he's going to lose his third base. But I have to say, for the most part, all these Queens, really getting a little bit. Oh, look at that micro lad.
Oh my god, the medevac does get focused down by the queens. The hatchery is getting very low. We did have a couple of transfuses to try to keep it alive. Can GogojOey save his third?
It looks like he is going to actually be able to, and all things considered, like, that did not really go too well for Azure. Good hold by Joey, wow.
I'm really impressed. I look at the units lost tab. He didn't lose a single queen. He didn't lose his third base. He lost a lot of lings, but the transfuses, the micro, the control, the positioning of his queens was insane. And now the follow-up BC isn't going to be as scary as we thought it would be, because the queen count is now looking a little bit healthier.
Yeah, not only is it healthier, but these queens are going to bank energy as well. That third base still is a bit of a sore spot. Could potentially be doing a bit of abuse as these Hellions come into the natural. Oh my days, like, where's the lings?
Where are the lings? They're all gone, mate. They were killed earlier. The queens are trying to keep up here, but the entire middle line goes out. 15 drones and more.
Oh wow, oh my god. I was just going to say there's no creep between the main and natural, so the BC could abuse that, but these Hellions are abusing it too, and they're going to get cleaned up eventually, but 24 drones after the kind of start that was in this game.
Oh,
that's rough. Like,
that is rough. Initially, GogojOey was looking quite powerful, deflecting the Hellbat push, but now his economy is in the gutter, and the follow-up BC has so much potential. I mean, there are queens to fend it off, sure, but as you pointed out, there's still no creep connecting the two bases. The creep is slowly being spread in that area, but the BC can just target down even more drones.
They can do as the BC teleports into the main. There's a Spore and 2 queens here, but there's also the last base not ravaged by Hellions is going to get ravaged now, as these Hellions going to come in again, and Joey's going to split his attention. Like,
oh, he really does. We have lings in position, but the drones, they're left idle, and the Hellions going to be able to roast up 7 of them. Can we get 8? We cannot. 7 go down. Meanwhile, the BC in the main base is still going toe-to-toe with those queens. Hasn't really been able to get too many of those workers.
Yeah, does just barely get a transfuse off to help keep them alive. With this Spore, he's going to push back the BC eventually, but taking out a couple of queens here, which tells me there is going to be a follow-up. And yes, there is a second BC on the way, but Light, I think he's dove in a bit too deep here.
Oh, he went in too deep up. He gets punished for it. The BC does go down, so there's a little bit of a win here for GogojOey, but we have more BCs on the way. We have Yamato on the way. Factories, it's mech.
We do have mech, a second armory on the way, BC mech, and we see Joey's response going to throw down a Roach Roar and may even throw down a Spire as well. Keep in mind, he doesn't know if the additional battlecruiser just yet. At the moment you see Yamato, you know they're probably going to invest a bit more, as there we go, sees the second battlecruiser now. And Azure is just going to use this opportunity to get his production up and just take a third base behind this too. And he started rough, but he's starting to get back into it. Like,
yeah. I mean, I feel like both players have been battered and bruised throughout this game here, and we'll see if GogojOey can keeping up with this BC. How many units do we have to defend? We have 6 queens right now, and if we did have a Spire, it did not finish, as there is no Spire currently here. Oh, there we go. The lair just now finishes up for GogojOey. We'll see if he does invest as we get that Yamato on one of those queens.
Yeah, there's going to be something that Joey's going to need to do. Queens, they can stave off BCs, but there we go, Spire goes down now. But eventually you need something extra, otherwise they just come in Yamato your queens and back out. And you know, BCs, they're hard to deal with. Until this Spire finishes, Joey can't really go across the map. He's got some lings, but Hellions are here to may even get an SCB at the third. Oh. But yeah, like it's a bit of breathing room for our Terran player.
It really is, and we do see that Azure, he wants to try and be as active as he can. The Hellions are now moving out across map. We have Cyclones behind this, we have Magfield accelerators as well, so a very mobile form of battle mech here from Azure. And oh my god, he just goes straight to the natural once again. There's nothing to stop him.
Yeah, he does. Really smart move here by Azure, recognizing that, you know, Joey lost quite a few lings kind of going across the map, and now there's nothing at home to deal. There are some roaches popping this queens, but they're slow as, and is even the BCs pressuring the front too late. The third base is quite damaged. This is phenomenal for Azure.
It really is. 17 drones going down at the same time. 2 BCs do rock up towards that third base. The third was weakened earlier from the Hellbat push, and if he wanted to, he could try and focus on the hatchery. That's exactly what he does.
does too. These queens will get back, or will they in time? He does have a couple of Yamatos on hand if he wants to use them. Decides to use them on queens instead, which is not a bad idea because these VCs are still high hit point light. These queens are running out of transfuse energy.
There's only 3 queens left. We have 7 corruptors on the way, but can they come out in time to not just save the queens, but save the 3rd hatchery as well? The queens are being focused out. Now it's time for the hatchery.
Yeah, this is the saddest moment as a Zerg light as the 3rd base goes down. Now Roach is going across the map. He's going to potentially get a little bit. No, he just teleports home. It's losing all your queens right before the corruptors pop.
Yeah.
And then you either lose a mineral line full of drones or a base anyway. It's one of the worst feelings of Zerg. The corruptors are now out, and Joey's kind of plan of going for a corruptor Roach timing is foiled, unfortunately.
The worst thing is that there's like a solid period of like 5 seconds or 10 seconds that feel like an eternity where you're just watching the BC kill you. And you can't do anything.
You're just staring at it.
Yeah, you can only watch in despair as your 3rd base dies before your eyes. And now we have corruptors, and sure, GogojOey can now fend off those BCs, but the damage has been done.
Again, Azure doing the smart thing amongst all that pressure, throwing down a 4th base, a couple idle, like look at the idle SCVs in the top of the natural. Get this on camera. No, the natural light's the 3rd base. Look at this, 3 of them. Unbelievable.
You don't need it. You don't need them.
Yeah, true. No.
They're tearing me. They don't need SCVs. They got mules, mate. They got mules.
They do have mules now that you mention it, but these was there cyclones out? I know he sent one across the map. There is just one cyclone, but he's going to be able to get a couple of these factories, I think.
Yeah, we invested into Magfield accelerators, but we never really made any cyclones. We just kind of got ready for that if we needed to. Meanwhile, we have the Yamatos here in the main base. 3 corruptors go down immediately. Oh, and they don't manage to take down that factory.
Yeah, I forgot there were BCs, so there's no way the factories are going down. But just the way Azure was taking this 3rd base, going air, it really helps them kind of cover his bases, because any kind of pressure that hits towards the, like say it's a Nidus Worm or a drop in the main base, you can just like siege from the low ground and send some BCs to support. As these roaches, oh no, they're gonna get cleaned up by these Hellions. That's always a sad sight.
Yeah, something you don't see too often, but there are just so many Hellions and not enough Roaches. The Roaches are being roasted here at the 4th base of Azure, and now Azure is going to be able to just really ramp up that economy. GogojOey, he needs to somehow find a way to come back with the Hellions to go for another counterattack. Oh!
The Hellions are back, and there's a couple Spines and a couple Roaches to hold out here. Good drone splits, but unfortunately, these Hellions, they don't even have Blue Flame, and there's 8 workers going down, which... This is where, as you'll know this feeling, Light, as a Zerg player, where you need like to invest in infrastructure to like protect against these units, but you just need to make drones, otherwise you die.
Yeah,
so it's a slippery slope.
It's that slope that's really difficult when you're a Zerg player and you're behind against mech, and that's kind of the situation that we're in right now. Like, because GogojOey's been sustaining so many losses, like he has to keep re-droning, but he also has to spend those drones on stack defense as well, and Azure is just not really giving him too much time to breathe, because once again the BCs are across the map and they have those Yamatos.
Yeah, I would have actually liked to see, I know it's a bit difficult, but Joey potentially go for some, infestors here, just even if it's just to, keep his bases safe or just lock down these Hellions. Because Neural is going to be quite helpful, and when you can't really afford an army to straight up fight, you only need like 6 drones per base if you're going for gas heavy units. Just use your opponent's army. Just do it.
True. Hey, how do you beat mech, mate? You use it against them. You Neural, you take over
100%.
the Thors, you take over the BCs, the tanks as well. But GogojOey has something else in store for us, because he's going into a mass muta transition.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, he's got a lot of mutas. They're in between the natural and the main.
I just see that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if it wasn't BC mech, it could possibly work. But if he's corruptors, he's probably just going to trade on these BCs. Not a good idea with the cyclones there.
That's the thing. Mutas, if it wasn't for the BCs, then maybe they could make something happen here. I mean, they can definitely force maybe Azure to turn back around and go back home. Like, these soon are going to have +2 air attack as well. We'll see how this next fight does go. As the Mutas are diving on in.
Yeah, the mutas and corruptors coming in. Corruptors actually tanking for the mutas as they take out the cyclones here. And actually, this is not horrible. If he takes out these BCs now too, Azure forced to back off. And like, that's egg on my face. I thought this wasn't going to work, but no, he's actually going to be able to clean it up.
Yeah,
but 3 Thors in the way.
And at the cost of the immuno line, as 16 drones do go down. GogojOey, though, very efficient trade with these mutas, and now he's on a timer. As you were saying, Thors are on the way, so he has to counterattack immediately and do some counter damage.
Yeah, he does too. And it does. I can see the essence of what Joey is going for. You know, you're not going to probably win on the ground, so just give up the ground fight completely. But it looks like Azure. There's no turrets at this base here, like this is actually not great for Azure.
It really is not, and here we go. We have a couple of turrets here at that 4th base, but they can be focused on one after the other. We do see the corruptors keeping the BCs busy while the mineral line is exposed. Ooh.
Yeah, the mineral line is exposed. He's going to be able to potentially take out this planetary. I'd say he will.
Does get the planetary
like
in.
The Thors. The Thors arrive like the. What this is? What did you just pull SCVs and attacks? 35 meters versus what, like 9 Thors in a second?
True. I mean, we'll see how Azure handles this. The Thors have arrived. They are here. GogojOey making more mutas. Ling muta is his composition of choice. He's going to rotate over towards his base. There are a lot of turrets. They're going to buy some time.
They will too, and these swords are going to meander over these SCVs cuddling around the turret, but it just gets taken out anyway. And pretty good moves here by Joey. Oof.
Oh, it does take a couple of Thor volleys to the face here. He has lost 21 mutas so far. He lost 5 mutas in that engagement. He's down to 30. Still a lot though, and he's still going to be threatening the bases as he goes into the main.
Yeah, and these mutas have +2, so his turrets are without support just going to get cleaned up. Azure's just going to go for it. He's going to keep a couple of Thors at home to deal with the mutas, but that is quite a few Thors. And if you look at the ground army of Joey, it's 9 roaches. So this is actually a pretty potent attack force here.
It really is. See, we've got 12 more roaches on the way. GogojOey has to buy a little bit of time. Here we go. The roaches are going to move on forward, but Thors, they can just absolutely annihilate these roaches. Oh my god, the mutas come in! Oh god!
Yeah, with muta support, I think Joey is actually going to be able to clean this up. It is going to be, you know, a bit of a closer trade here, but he does have the units. He's going to lose a lot of these mutas, which was really a, you know, a lot of his kind of force here. And keep in mind, Azure's making 4 Thors at home, like, but the economy of Azure's not crazy.
But you know what? The BC survived, and that's what's important. They just power on through. They take down the army. They take down the base. They take down the drones as well.
One's got 31 kills. It's the Banshee from last game.
It's the Banshee has the pilot got promoted to just drive a battle cruiser. It's crazy. Oh my god.
Oh, man. It did too, but here we go. Roaches on the field. There are some Thors which aren't the greatest against Roaches with BC support. A couple more Thors reinforcing. Yeah, Joey's gonna get pushed back, and like, what does Joey do now? Because he's at an okay drone count, but he's against mech. You know. What do you do?
Drone count isn't too bad, as you were saying. I mean, I do appreciate that he reset the tank count earlier with those mutas, and now we're only dealing with Thor, so now would be a really good opportunity for infestors. You know, you mentioned it earlier. Now would be amazing for infestors to take control of these Thors and to really create some mayhem. But we don't have Badgering Lands, and GogojOey, he's got his own way of playing this out.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, lad, especially because a lot of the BCs have been reset. A lot of the threat does come from just instantly Yamatoing infestors as these BCs, and we'll need to be a bit careful. They are on cooldown. He's actually going to lose both of them now. Oof.
Oh, we have some last Yamatos, but one BC falls, the other is under threat. We do see the army pushing on forward. The final tank goes down, only Thor to defend, and that BC will barely hold on.
Yeah, actually saves one of them. It's a Hellion run by the right hand side. These drones unprotected. There's still no blue flame. Oh, but
the splits are pretty good here, but oh my god, they're lining up once again.
Oh, it's the biggest tease as the Terran player, I guess. But yeah, you know, maybe just a bit of Thor Hellbat. But he needs to get blue flame just to make sure that he's solid there. His corruptors are, you know, useful amount of corruptors, don't need more than this. And the Roach Ravage is actually quite scary, but there is a good Thor count, as we see, like
is a good Thor account. Meanwhile, you mentioned it earlier, Blue Flame did get denied by the mutas in the main base, and it just hasn't been rebuilt here by Azure. So it is going to impact the usefulness and the versatility of his Hellions and Hellbats. Meanwhile, GogojOey has remaxed here onto the Roach Ravager army, kind of super maxed in a way because he's only got 69 drones. Nice.
That is nice indeed. I think it's around on 80 SCVs as we see coming in. There's a planetary here. Don't know if he's going to be able to get this base. He's going to turn around, but there's a couple of tanks supplementing his army now too, and not a good trade for Joey. He wants to get out of here, like, he's losing that max that he has worked towards, and he doesn't have the bank to really capitalize on a second army here. He
really doesn't. A lot of roaches got annihilated there. We didn't really trade too well at all against the Thor army, and Azure's just going to push on forward. 3-3-3 on the way for GogojOey, which is nice, but we still need a little bit more time for that to really kick in, and this Thor Hellbat is now laying siege upon this 5th base.
They are too, and decent around here, but with these tanks in the back, Joey just can't really take a decisive engagement here, even with the Ravagers to help zone out. He's going to be able to, bile down a couple of Thors, get them quite low, but eventually his army, every time he ducks in, is getting damaged, and that BC survives again. Oh my god.
It's got 39 kills. The BC survives, Swampy. The Roach Ravager diving in once again to try and buy whatever we can, but again, GogojOey is bleeding out a little bit too much. The Terran army, the mech army of Azure is far too robust. The the hatchery will go down.
It will go down indeed, and actually going to get these tanks as they on siege. Good move here by Joey. Forces the siege up again, and look how battered and bruised those Thors and BC are. Yeah, I just go in and attack some of these units if I was Joey, and he is going to, but can he clean up the rest of them, like?
He's taking down a lot of these Thors, but we have tanks sieged up on the low ground as well, so they're going to be shelling away at the army of GogojOey. He's going to dive on forward as well. It looks like he'll be able to barely clean up this army, but it cost him a lot of supply.
A lot of supply indeed, and unfortunately just doesn't have the economy to sustain a rebuild. He's got a bit of a gas bank. I'd be curious to see how he spends this. Let's go another muta switch, please. But and he's got another base too, but I think it's a little too late, as his Hellions going to run by in the bottom left. See this base, and he doesn't know about the high ground base yet. We might find out soon. Yeah,
the center base hasn't been scattered yet. We do see the rallying roaches here in position to defend against this Hellion run by, so they are going to be able to clean this up. GogojOey, though, he needs time to rebuild his army. Meanwhile, Azure likewise is licking his wounds. He's looking to also take that his own center base.
That he is indeed going to stabilize this position. Does put a little bit of pressure on Joey, and Joey's trying to just take these bases, but he just doesn't have the army to really kind of stop any onslaught. He doesn't have the tech to help support his forces either, and we see Azure is just going heavy back into siege tanks, and there's just not the economy to swap out a Roach Ravager. Like, this is the right move by old Craig.
Yeah, old mate Krug, he's doing quite well. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel on the hatchery on the right hand side as well. GogojOey trying to force all of this back. He's going to be losing the last of his corruptors. That one BC is still alive, by the way. It is. Oh, it died. Oh my god.
Oh no.
It's over.
BC waifu. BC husbando. We will miss you.
Oh no. Uwu, papi.
Uwu, indeed. As Azure, he sees Joey's he's out of steam here. These Hellion run-bys are just keeping him running frantically everywhere. But Joey's actually got a bit of a bank. What is he doing? Is he thinking of teching up, or is he trying to choose?
He's
thinking maybe Swarm Host.
He's deep in Thor right now. He wants to try to figure out what does he want. Swarm Host could work out, but if we're going for Swarm Host, we need them now more than ever. He's going into the mutas.
Oh no, he's doing it light, and unfortunately Azure might catch wind here if he attacks this base where these beacons are going to pop. There's a chance. There's 6 Thors. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Thors do typically shut down mutas quite hard, but the mutas can always avoid the Thors and force like a really awkward situation. We do see the Blue Flame Hellions, they're going for the base. No!
Oh no, he's got Blue Flame, and these drones are going to get taken out. Like, the Spines are doing a little bit But if the Azure micros here, as the engagement comes in, the mutas come on top of the army, and it's just not going to be enough. He might be able to clean up these floors, but there's just nothing on the ground. Unfortunately, I think this may be the end for our valiant Zerg here, who has lost a grand total of 129 drones this game, 132.
Oh, GG gets called, and Azure in game number 2 fights back, puts a point on the board, and we have a series. We're going to the ace match.
We do have a series, Light.
Oh.
You're so smart.
Oh.
You're so handsome as well.
Oh. Keep talking.
But yeah, it is 1-1. Is it really a series? Because it's basically a best of one now, right?
Who am I casting with Pilsky?
Oh, yeah, true. It is a best of. That's what you do when you get to like a 4-4, like in BlizzCon or like a grand final. You say, "Oh, what do you mean? It's best of one grand final now." Ah! But yeah, what is our third map like? Do you know?
Oh, that is a good question. That is information that I am not privy to, unfortunately. It is not what
Oh my god, let me ask Craig.
True, Krug.
What's the map?
The players are just going to be getting ready here for their final game, for the ace match. Oh boy, and Azure, he's already shown a bit of a wealth, a wide breadth of builds. He's been going for bio, very stock standard in game 1, you know, going for the 3cc Banshee. Here in game number 2, we saw like a Hellbat response to the 1312, into BC, into mech. You know, he can do it all, Bobby. He can do it all.
He certainly can do it all, but can he do it all twice?
No.
Like, can doing it all, does that also mean doing it twice? Because is twice count as all, if you know what I mean?
You know what, Chase? These are questions. These are questions that I do not know the answer to.
If you can do it all, can you do it all twice?
That's a good point. Can you do it all? Can you do more than doing it all? Can you do more than that? Is it possible?
Can you? We've broken my brain the 4th time in this short hour-long cast.
Aye. It's all good, Papi. It's all good as we're getting ready for the ace match here, and oh boy, the ace match is going to be taking place on Royal Blood.
Yeah, I just told Azure he killed 132 workers, and he said, "Really? Jesus." Big words by the big Terran player.
Shaking my head, Chase. Shaking my head. Leave these players alone, okay? They're in the middle of a series. Oh my god.
Oh, true. I didn't message Joey and say he lost 132 drones. That'd be a bit biased.
Oh my god.
But here we go. We're loading into map number 3 of this best of 1 series. Like, it is Royal Blood Ellie edition.
Oh. I'm not going to touch that, as we are going to be getting into our ace match game number 3, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Australian Terran player himself, tying up that series 1-1 in that last game. Can he go all the way? It is Azure.
And spawning in the bottom left position, it is the Zerg player who has historically been, favored in this matchup, but representing Juggernauts and Hong Kong, he is currently 1-1. It is GogojOey.
Oh boy.
What?
Yes?
Oh, sorry.
No, go. It's okay.
Have you heard of the Discord soundboard?
I have not.
Oh. Well, guess what? Sorry. But here we are, guys. We are in game number 3. Like, I'll enlighten you.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I said enlightened.
Oh.
Okay, I'll stop now. I'm sorry.
You're
I'm getting a
turning
bit
this
carried
into a
away.
farce. It's over.
I am. I'm ruining it. Light thought he was getting a co-caster, and he was actually just getting
A
getting
clown.
here we go. You take that back. Alright, here we are. On what's this map? Royal Bloodlight.
Yeah.
We are on Royal Blood here. Azure is scouting. We have got a hatch first build by the Zerg, and we have got Reaper for the Terran.
Yeah, and I was gonna point out before that lovely little tirade, Chase, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Quack, yeah, get the quacks going. I was gonna point out that for the first time this series, Azure is actually Azure. He's blue.
Oh, he is too.
Ah.
Sorry, I'm just sorry guys if I'm a bit loud. I'm just adjusting my sound here. I've gotten to the point you keep telling me, Light, to get closer to the microphone, but I'm actually eating it now.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he's got his favorite blue. Was he blue last series, Light?
No, he was red. Oh wait,
my
last
days.
series. Sorry, he was blue last series. He was blue last series. Yeah.
Oh, last game.
Last game he was red. Yeah.
Last best of 2 series that was played literally just before this best of 1.
Yeah, so we do see him kind of maybe calming down a little bit, maybe cooling off, or embracing his inner Azure. Regardless, he's gonna have to scout because he's been testing the waters. He has confirmation that there is no third hatchery because GogojOey is going for a very fast Roach Warren.
Yeah, this is a fast roach run, and these are fast roaches. I'd expect to see a couple more roaches actually pop here, but no, he's just making 6, and this is a curious amount of roaches because it's enough to kind of justify, you know, you have to lift your natural, you can't really hold the low ground, but it's not the 8 or 9 roaches that Zerg you normally see if they commit higher numbers with. Starport does finish up, he's going to swap on to get a Banshee out, but just the timing of this, he's going to be knocking on the front door of Azure very soon. I don't know if he's even seen these roaches, like.
He hasn't seen the roaches, he hasn't seen the roach one, he only has seen the lack of third base, and here we go, the roaches are rocking on up. This is what GogojOey is known for, and as you were saying, the natural has to be evacuated.
Yeah, and it's not that, you know, it does catch Azure off guard, but he just needs to kind of hold the high ground here till this Banshee pops out. He's going to lose some SCVs, unfortunately. It's just going to be the reality of the situation. But as long as he doesn't really, you know, lose the wall here, he should be able to hold. Just take maybe losing 8 workers. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the target firing here is pretty damn good. 8 SCVs are going to be going down. 9 SCVs are going to be going down as well. The CC is lifted. Can he get the depot? He will. Up, up, up. Oh god, it's so close.
Yeah, he does get the depot actually, and yeah, quite a bit of damage now. 13 is not what we're going to be losing here. Keep in mind, we do even have a couple extra roaches now, but Azure is going to be countering quite soon here, and there's no limb speed, so he's going to have to really go here.
Yeah, exactly. That was a lot of damage. That was 14 SCVs, lost mine time, a kill on the depot as well. And Azure needs to try and even things up, even the score, as we do have defensive roaches on the way, as you were pointing out. We do have a couple of spores on the way as well to help defend against those Banshees, but the Hellions have arrived. Oh.
They have 2 of these roaches popping out as well, and Azure doesn't know if these are defensive roaches or if they are... Actually, you saw the queens, he should know they are defensive, actually. Don't mind, I'm sorry, Light, I'm clouding a bit today. I haven't cast with you in a while, I'm nervous. We could potentially see... We could see a Nidus, do you think? Roach Queen Nidus? No, he stopped Queen production. I don't know.
Yeah, he's droning, mate. He's just chilling, he's droning. We could see a follow-up Spire. I wouldn't be surprised if we do kind of invest into gases, but the Lair for the time being is going to be finishing up, and the Banshees do show up as well. It looks like they get, almost the Queen. Clutch transfuse.
Yeah, and this is a decisive moment here in this game. These Banshees, he might lose this, this random Spore Crawler, yes. This is, yeah. This is now looking like rough for Azure, I must say, unfortunately.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Azure, he's down 20 workers. He's picking off a couple of drones here and there, but we need more damage done. And here we go. The Hellions try to get into the third base, but no, the Queens of the Roaches are in position. Azure doesn't get in.
Yeah, and he's doing the right thing. He's trying to be proactive and get some damage done. All GogojOey needs to do now is just chill out, drone his 3 bases, go for a 1-1 timing, especially after sniping 1, potentially 2 banshees. Oh, actually hitting 10 workers now. 11. Oh my god,
I'm telling you, mate, the pilots here for Azure are cracked. I don't know what. Literally Top Gun, mate.
Until she has 21 more kills and gets 31 total.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's that's good. You're like, I've seen it before. I'm not impressed. Oh my god.
I've seen it before twice, okay?
I
had a nickel for every time, you know, one of us was air units had 31 kills. I have 3 nickels.
Yeah.
So.
There you go. Rich man.
Yeah, but there's the timer now on the mainland. We have roach speed started. Azure unfortunately does not have a 3rd base. He's just going for a 2 base all in, and unfortunately, I feel like this is actually gonna get hard handled by this roach play by GogojOey.
Yeah, I believe so as well. I mean, we do see Azure doing what they can with this Banshee, and again, the Banshees have been the MVP so far throughout this series, Banshees and BCs to be fair. But GogojOey's 1-1 timing is going to hit like a truck, and I mean, it's just unfortunate that Azure is going to run into that of all things.
Yeah, he's moving out here now. Looks like, yeah, Joey does see this move out, and the 3 tanks is nothing to scoff at. Joey does the smart thing and takes out these rocks, and he's going to force a siege up quite early, which Azure doesn't exactly want. But this timing is actually working out better for Joey as his 1-1 finishes roach speed soon as well. But there is, you know, it's a decent force here by our Terran player.
It really is. Behind this, we have that Spire on the way to going to mute us at some point, but I feel like the game may not even last that long. We do see the Marines doing quite well, pushing on and getting on top of some of these Ravagers, but the Ravagers, they do finish morphing in.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Azure, he is kind of attacking here without his +1 attack. We do have 1-1 finish already for our Zerg player. The Banshee is alive, but here he comes, and Joey's going to collapse on this army right now.
Oh, he does collapse on a GG gets called, and GogojOey will be taking this series 2-1 and advancing on to the grand finals. Oh.
There you go.
GG, well
I'm sorry, Kuro, I'm sorry. Better me than Ashley coming in and spamming. Spamming, I don't know.
Shaking my head.
Maybe not better. But yeah, GG. Azure unfortunately bows out. Smart build there by GogojOey. I'm going to steal it. I'll probably never use it, but at least, you know, I can feel like I can steal it. But yeah, Joey moves on into our grand final. Is it late?
Yeah.
So.
That is going to be towards the grand finals, where he's going to be waiting for the winner of Leah Rusher and Oriana. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, I also want to congratulate Azure as well, because he made quite a series out of this. This was pretty damn close, and he was looking quite powerful in game number 2. And even in game 1, if you remember, in game 1, I felt like the first half of the game, Azure was keeping up with GogojOey for quite some time. So yeah, it is really impressive to see him, you know, go toe-to-toe with the best player in Hong Kong.
Especially when you kind of consider, you know, it's been, you know, quite a while since they have played, and a lot has kind of happened in that time. But Joey always had the advantage in the series. I definitely felt like, you know, Azure, he could have taken this one for sure. He played super well in game 2. Game 1, his opening was super clean as well. It's just unfortunate that he had a bit of trouble holding on to that push there by Joey in, you know, the 6 roaches. But yeah, no, it was definitely a good showing. I still, you know, still a bit annoyed that he took my Mario Party star. But yeah, he did a good job, old Craig.
Yeah, exactly. Did do a great job. Did represent Australia quite well here in this event. But now we're going to be looking over at the lower semifinals. We have the best player in Singapore doing really well for himself. I'm a little bit shocked. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to have a look at the bracket. But we got a surprising quarterfinals result, which I was really not expecting. Leah Rusher 2-0'd Demi.